Hey, welcome back, YouTubers. Thanks for checking out my channel, Starday Gamer. Playing a little No Man's Sky here. Looks like we're in a toxic storm going on a lot of moon right now, and it's kicking my ass in the toxic area. But what I was wanting to kind of go into was, so I have these extra shields, okay? So I've got one for the extreme cold, extreme hot, toxic planet, and radiation planet. And the reason, as you see, I'm not using these is because outside of the storm, your suit really doesn't deplete fast enough, or your normal life support doesn't deplete fast enough for you to really worry about it. It's these work. I'm not saying they don't work, but the amount of resources that it takes to continually regenerate them and replenish their health bar is. It's really non-existent. The only thing I've really found that these are cool for is like for this, I did build it a while ago on a planet that I was on. I was on a water, kind of like a water world planet, lots of water and just islands. And when there were things to find underneath of the water, the water was like 10 times more toxic than the planet that just standing outside of the water. And so I went ahead and put my aeration membrane on, which allows me to, it's just, as you can see, these health bars here, so it'll deplete that health bar before it'll actually go into me holding my breath, if that's what you want to call it, what I can actually survive just with my suit underwater. So it allowed you to dive deeper onto the ocean floor, or the bodies of water, we'll call it an ocean, to get down into those structures and to do some exploration in those particular facilities that are underwater. So definitely helps. So you would combine that and that at that time when you needed it, and then you would get in. And it doesn't take much to build, as you see, iron and carbon, which are plentiful on just about every planet. So shoot a couple plants, shoot a couple rocks, boom, you've got that built. And the same thing with that, you got that built. And then out of all the scenarios that I've been to, there's only been one time, because your ship protects you from everything. The only one time that I really needed them was going underwater, to be able to hold my breath long enough to get down to the bottom and get back up. And then the amount of time that I was in the water, of course, the water was extremely more toxic than the air, so my health bar was going out. So that's when I used it. Just walking around for the, like here, and the thing was, like back in here, so I had all four of them for the longest time in the beginning of the game, probably for about the first 10 hours or so, because I got them all relatively early, and I'm maybe some of you out there got a lot of them early too. So I had them taking up 4 slots in my exosuit. Now this exosuit is I've been spent 160,000 was for that slot right there. So my next one's going to be 170,000 when I find another drop pod. So I've already expanded it, I think, 2-fold here, if I'm not mistaken. I think you start out with just this amount right here, and so I've already expanded my exosuit pretty good. But I was taking up 4 slots with those extra shields, and then I wasn't really using them for anything. Like I said, I've used them in one instance that I really needed to say that I needed that extra boost, and so it was just wasting spots that I could use for mining and resourcing for money, or other things that I needed. So my suggestion would be not to, like here, I mean, you can see it's -16, so it's pretty cold. And then I've got, on top of that, I've got, let's see, I don't think this planet, let's see, I'm on a moon, so the weather is baked. I don't understand that, because it's not, it's negative, didn't I say -16? But even at that, 16 wouldn't really be even hot. It says baked. Maybe it's because the sun is down, I don't know. But so when those storms come in, or like on a radiation planet, or even like here, if this is actually, I don't know why that would say baked. Moon 03, that's this one right here. Or maybe it's just because the sun is down. But, you're not away from your ship from what I found. Like we fly our ships pretty much right to what, you know, we're wanting to go relatively close. And that to me is one of the flaws. Like, I love this game, don't get me wrong, this is really a neat game. And I do give a lot of credit to Hello Games for what they've accomplished to this part of the game. For the groundwork has been laid, and the foundation, and it is, in my opinion, pretty damn solid. Okay, I mean, is there little things here and there that I could bitch about? Yeah, I mean, I think we all could do that, and we could all find little things to bitch about. Like I'd made a video earlier which I had to friggin' erase because the sound was jacked up. But oh, pumpkins! Looky there, I got pumpkins. What I found, like, what had happened earlier was, so there was a aluminum, okay, which is what I'm getting ready to mine here, and there was plant life growing up the side of the way it was done. So there's some plant life like right in this area, and you might even see it here, like those flowers. All right, so let's just test it here. All right, so see how the flowers are still growing, like floating in the air here. And I've had people complain on different posts. I've seen different posts saying, that kind of takes you're immersed in the game. That takes the immersion out of the game, because that's just not realistic in any way, shape, or form. And then some people have tried to defend that, saying, well, you don't know what the gravity is on this planet. This might be a zero gravity planet, and so that's why those things stay floating. We don't know, right? Well, I would have to argue even with that, because as I blew that up, there was a force applied to that, and anybody that has gotten past the 3rd grade in school would know that that force would have created those things to disperse. That energy that it took would have been released, and that rock that I just blew up, that energy would have been transferred to these plants, these flowers and these plants, and they would have scattered depending on how much energy they absorbed. And so for them to just be stuck there, yeah, with no weight, and at first I kind of thought, oh, I hear something creeping on me here. Oh, okay, ships. Man, there's a lot of people patrolling this. Look at that, flying in a nice little V formation. And so at first I was like, a voxel-based game, maybe that plagues because this is a voxel-based game. Maybe there's a reason for that because of that. But then I thought, well, no, because even in games like Minecraft, where to me that's a simplistic voxel-based game with just using straight up cubes for everything. Even they have weight and gravity, when for some things, okay. So like the sand and the gravel, when you take a bottom one out, the top one falls down. But then for like things like rock and stuff like that, they do stay suspended in the air. And so I kind of thought, well, why wouldn't all of Minecraft's blocks, if you can do it with sand and gravel in Minecraft, why couldn't you make any product fall? And then that also leads to the floating rock structures in Minecraft, things like that. And so then you get in same instances I just seen on this planet. I don't know, I flew around here earlier, so I don't see any right now on this moon, but there was floating rock masses on this one. And so yeah, here's one. So see, is it the design of the game? Is it some funky space magic that makes that happen, or is it really just a flaw in voxel-based procedural generated games that's going to happen? Okay, I don't know. But I know games like, there's some more. Be still in that here in a minute. Aluminum's for my game has been very hard to find, and I finally found, looks like a moon that's got quite a bit of it, so I'm going to snag a lot of it. There's quite a bit of yeah, that's the planet. Look how big that son of a bitch is. You can't hardly see it through the haze, but that's all planet over there. aluminum, what I was saying about aluminum is for me, it's been very rare to find, and I need it for building some things that I was trying to build, but it's also very valuable in this sector, where I'm at, the star system. And even I've been to 4 star systems now. I think that's right, 4 star systems. 1, 2, 3. Oh, go down. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because this is the one I believe I started on. No, this is my second one, Maddenville, whatever I said. I don't even know why that's there. It shows as a system, but I never visited that system, so I don't. That's some kind of glitch or something there why it's adding that to my systems that I visited, because I've not visited that system yet. But this Mattingly system was the first one. Lawsinian was the second one. Huntington was the third. And now Robinsonian is the fourth one that I've been to, which is where I'm at now. And so aluminum's only been that I found in any type of abundance, to where it just wasn't 1 or 2 here and there over the planets and the moons. This Robinsonian system was the only system that has it, and I've been to 1 planet, 1 moon so far in it, and both of them have had aluminum. So I'm gonna snag up all the aluminum that I can off of these planets. From what I've seen so far, it goes every place that I've been to, it's been selling higher than what the galactic average is, which is, gotta say, these last 2, moon and planet, I've made more money off of selling the aluminum than I've made. Well, I can't aim this damn thing right. Than what I've made in pretty much. Well, I can't say that. I made a lot off of my emerald in the last system. I sold a lot of emerald for some pretty good money. And then my very first system, that Mattingly system that I was in, where I started the game, gold was very abundant. And so even though I wasn't selling it, I think it was a negative 1.2 galactic average. And so even though it wasn't making a lot, there was so much of it that I was just really making, I was a mule. I was just running back and forth from the planet to the space station over and over again. And that's how I pretty much got the money to buy my first ship. Even though I was only in it for 2 minutes probably. I'm still kind of pissy about that. These little baby cactuses. I was only in it for about 2 or 3 minutes, because literally as soon as I bought the damn thing, which that's kind of a funny story in its own. I bought it from the initial default spaceship that I got with the GameStop, is where I bought my game from. So I had the GameStop ship, perk ship, whatever you want to call it, which was a pretty neat little ship, but I think it only had like 15 slots. And so I went from that to bought my first ship. Now the ones that of course I wanted, they were like 25, 30, up to 30. I think I even seen one that was a 35 unit or a slot ship. I mean, they went anywhere from roughly just a little over $1 million, about 1.2 million, all the way up to 6 million for that one that was at like 35 slots, 31 slots. Can't remember exactly what it was. So definitely didn't have the money for any of that. Oh, look at that big son of a bitch. Is that a big rat? Because them little rats were kicking my ass. So this big one, let's see. He's unconcerned as his temperament. Well, I like that, because there's a little rat that looks a lot like him. And them motherfuckers are meaner than hell. They'll kill animals. There's something else over there that I haven't seen. Let's go venture over here and get him. And so, the very first ship Why does he look much like the other one? So what makes him different than that guy? He has a thing on his head, that one don't. Relatively close. Maybe they're from the same group of families. So that's that one. Yeah, pretty close. What's their names? They are relatively the same. Even the names are the same. I wonder why it let me. Well, maybe one's a male, one's a female. Who knows? Gender unknown. Gender indeterminate. She knows. So anyways, there's a little fucking crab looking fuckers. Those are the only ones that really don't change. Why is this not? See, is he pissy? I always like to see if they're pissy or not. He's prey. He ain't gonna hurt me. So back to my topic here that I was trying to talk about. What I've noticed is so on my ship, yeah. So I lost train of thought. So I take my ship that I bought 600,000, and it went from like 15 slots up to 19 slots, I believe, is what it was, and it looked relatively a lot like the default ship that I had, my very first ship. Looked a lot like it. A little bit of difference. The wingspan was a little different, and the engines were out on the wings, which was kind of cool. Overall, it was a pretty neat ship. I take it, fly out of the space station, go down to the damn planet. As soon as I get down to the planet, I mean, as I'm entering the atmosphere, I see this crash site of this, and so, boom, I see this ship all busted up. There's a storm coming in. Fucking storms, dude. Look at that. Oh, so when the sun comes out, it gets hot. So it was negative, what was it, like 14 while ago, and when it was nighttime, and now it's 81.8 Celsius. So yeah, it's burning up right now. And what does it say? 81? 81.8. It's 179.24 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, it's pretty warm outside. And as you can see that storm, see that? Well, it's just, I mean, just literally you can watch it just tick down in the storm. And so yeah, we don't like to be out and about in the storms. Get too far away from the ship in the storms. But so now I know why it says baked, because it is bacon. So see, it's 19 degrees inside. Even inside my ship with the storm going on, 19 degrees, and then it's supposed to protect me. 19 degrees Celsius, 66.2 degrees. So it's a decent 70 degrees inside my cockpit. So I get down to the ship, or to the planet. I find this ship, and it is busted up, of course, but it's 24 slots. Now the ships that I was finding in the space station that were 24 slot area were going for like 1.2 up to 2 point something million dollars, and of course I didn't have. I think I had 1.3, 1.4 million when I thought I'd bought enough to upgrade my ship to more slots, and so I was for ones that, and I think they were like the 21 area, 21 slot space. I was thinking, man, do I really want to spend every penny I got on the ship? And so I wound up buying the 19. Waited there about an hour, literally, of different ships coming in, and the ones that I seen that I thought I was going to like as far as design. I'd go check them out. Finally found one that was 19, which would give me 3 more slots, or 4 more slots than what I had, and it was for $650 something thousand. And I thought, well, that's about half of what I've got. I can handle that. I'll spend half of my salary and my money and then get 4 more slots out of it. Thought great, because it had everything else that I already had. Buy it, fly down to the friggin' planet, first planet I fly down to, and this ship is sitting there, and it's 24. And I thought, oh my god, look what I just found. And I made a whole video of it if you watched my other videos. But yeah, it was pretty neat that I found it, fixed everything up, and it also had, not only did it have the 24 slots, but it also had the warp reactor, which I did not have on my initial ship. So I still got to kind of fix this up, which I'm looking for copper and iridium to do that with, but have not found either one of those. So but now I've got this ship, and so I come across the ship a while ago on the planet that I was just on. Oh, you know, this, because I didn't get to show you, but look, I'll land here and show you. Hey, them big ass fucking things. They're flying whales, man. That's crazy. That's the first flying outside of something that looked like a bird, which I've seen, you know, several of those, but it's the first odd looking thing that I've seen flying in space. And I've not found any sea life yet, or ocean life, or water life. Oh, I think I found one fish. I think I got cataloged my first planet. There was some just regular baby fish. Nothing unique though. But yeah, I'm gonna snag all this aluminum I can. It's going for too much good money not to. But back to what we were talking about of the floating. What I initially wanted to talk about on the in this particular deal. Games like 7 Days to Die. You know, it has the physics mechanism in it that allows you to, when you disrupt something, you know, other things fall around it, and water flows if you disrupt the land around it and things like that. And so I think it can be added into this so that you don't have this effect, you know, and this floating effect of the different type of things. But the fact that, as you can see how this turns with you, okay, so that you are always getting the, I guess you would say, your fat view of that particular texture, not texture, but kind of like an icon sitting there. I don't know exactly, I forget what they're called, but if you could see them, like in some games you can actually see what they are, but they're like a cross. There's like a cross here and a cross there, and they turn on an axis so that you're always seeing what looks like the flower, you know, and so you don't see the paper thin side of it, right? And so that's kind of neat that's in the game, for a game that's, you know, being rendered in real time, with no hand-drawn mechanics in it or assets in it. So stuff like that, you know, that they actually, you know, add that in there so that you don't see the flat side of the artwork there. And you can see it turning with me. See, I'm always seeing the same side because it's always turning. I'm not actually walking around that particular planet. It gives the illusion that you're always seeing, you know, like it's actually a 3D object, and it's not. It's a 2D texture type art clip, whatever you call it. Backdrop, pretty much, is what it is, individual backdrop. So I don't know if they're going to add that or not. I don't know if they're going to add in at some later time some type of gravity mechanic, physics mechanic on it. I mean, they've got the ragdoll effect. They've all, you know, like if I was to shoot these things, and I'm sure that if any of you got this game, if you were to shoot that out of the sky, it falls to the ground. It has weight, it has mass. And they could do the same thing for these flowers and textures and stuff. I'm guessing, unless it's just a generated, product that's where it's going to be generated is, it's a nothing more than a 2D form that's on a spindle, and that's just where it's going to be no matter what. And so I don't know if that'll ever change yet. Is it a big part of the game that, I'm saying, oh my god, it's a game breaker? No, but I can understand where some people would say that it pulls you, if you're immersed into the game, little things like that can pull you out for a moment of the immersion that you're in, that, well, this isn't real anymore, and I don't know if that's something they plan to fix or care to fix, or like I said, it's not a game breaker for me, at least not a game breaker. But like I said, I do realize that for some people it could be. It would be an awful little thing to kind of pick on, to say that the whole game is crap because a flower doesn't fall or plant doesn't fall. But and I guess if you didn't have these types of floating masses, it would probably take some of the illusion of fantasy out, because you do kind of have those things in the fantasy world, space fantasy movies and magazines and things like that. Those were all different aspects of that, was these floating land masses, and who knows why they're just floating in space like that. And so, yeah, it's not 100% accurate, but it's a fantasy video game. I can't really fault it for holding. Yes, that's gonna be it for this video. I'm gonna land here on this trading post, and oh, it's not gonna let me land. Why didn't it let me land? Oh, make the hard bank. And go in here and do some trading, get some things taken care of, and like I said, leave a like if you like it, leave a dislike if you hate it. Subscribe if you'd like to see more of Stardate Gamer, and I will definitely be doing a lot more of these, trying to find some. Oh, looky there. See, there's something new flying in the sky. I'll definitely be trying to find out new and better things to do with the game. Also be giving my fair assessment of the good things about the game, and definitely the bad things about the game. So if you enjoy that, come back and see me. Till then, peace out.